Hello everyone, welcome back to another GCSE Maths lesson with Morale. Today we're going to focus on understanding what each average represents and looking at the step-by-step calculations of mean, mode, median, and range, and applying these concepts to exam-style questions, right? So first things first, let's look at the vocabulary and what each of these terms that I've just used mean. So the mean average, so finding the mean of a certain number of data, means adding all the values that we have, all the data that we have, and dividing it by the number of data that we've got. So if we've got 5 numbers of data collected, we're going to add the 5 together and then divide it by 5 because there's a total of 5 numbers. The median is the middle number. However, it's the middle number when we put everything in order from the smallest to biggest, right? The mode is the most frequently occurring data, number, value, whatever we're looking at, and the range would be the difference between the largest and the smallest value. So subtracting the smallest away from the largest gives us the range of data that we're looking at, right? Let's look at some questions focusing on these. So example 1, it says find the mean. It says find a mean of 4, 7, 10, 6, and 9. Right, for the mean, we don't need to put them in order. All we're going to do is we're going to add 4 to 7 to 10 to 6 to 9. That gives us a total of 36 when we add them together. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 numbers all together, so we're going to do 36 divided by 5. So we're going to look into 36 divided by 5. How many 5s go into 3, 0? We carry the 3 over. How many 5s go into 36? That's 7. We've got a remainder of 1. We've reached a decimal point. We're going to place a decimal point there and carry over our 1. How many 5s go into 10? 2, so the final answer is 7.2. So the mean of these set of data is equal to 7.2. So for the mean, we're going to add everything up together and divide by how many numbers we've got, which is exactly what we've done. Next, we're going to look at the median. Right, for the median, we're going to find the middle number. However, in order to do that, we need to make sure everything's in order, and then we'll look for the middle number. So we go from the smallest to biggest, so we put them in order: 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. Then we look at the number in the middle. This one is quite obvious, this is the one in the middle, but if you had more data, then you can cross one out from each end. One from this end, one from this end, one from this end, one from this end, and the number in the middle is 5, so our median here is 5. However, if let's say you had another number, here, let's add an 8 there, and you wanted to find a middle number. If we cross one out from each end, we're left with 2 numbers in the middle. Now, if we cross these out, we're left with nothing. So we can't cross these 2 out, which means the median is going to be between these 2 numbers. To find the median between these 2 numbers, again, this one's quite obvious because the number between 5 and 7 is 6. But if it wasn't such obvious numbers, you would add them together, 5 plus 7, and then divided by 2. So 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6. So the median number is 6. That is only when you've got numbers like this, where you have 2 numbers left in the middle, find a median, you add them together and divide by 2, right? If that makes sense. Let's keep going. Okay, example 3 says, find the mode of these numbers. Now, with the mode, you don't have to put them in order. Sometimes it helps if you put them in order, so it's easier to spot, but the mode is the most frequently occurring number. So if we look here, we have 2, 3, 6s. It's the only number that repeats here. So in this case, 6 is our mode. Sometimes you have more than one number that repeats. So in order to visualize it, it might be easier to put in order. But it's not a must. You will not lose marks if you don't put it in order. Right. Let's look at the next one. It says, find the range of 12, 18, 5, 7, and 15. Right, so you're going to take the biggest number, which is 18, and then you're going to subtract the smallest number away from it. So the smallest number here is 5, so we're going to do 18 minus 5, which leaves us with 13. So 13 is the range of this data. Okay, let's look at some exam style of questions. So you could get a question like this, where it says the ages of 6 students are 14, 15, 16, 14, 17, and 15. Find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Right, okay. Not a hard question, it just involves a couple of steps. So we're going to go one by one. The mean is where we're going to add everything together and divide by however many numbers we've got. So we're going to do 14 plus 15 plus 16, sorry, that's a weird 16 there, plus 14 plus 17 plus 15. It's already telling us that there are 6 students, so we're going to add all of these together and divide by 6, which is going to give us 91 divided by 6, and 91 divided by 6 is equal to, if we round the number, it's equal to 15.17, right? If the question doesn't tell you, you can choose what you think is most suitable. 2 decimal place is always a suitable number, so we round it to 2 decimal places. Then it says find a median. Okay, to find a median, I'm going to put it in order. 14, 14. Sometimes it helps if you cross them out as you're writing it, especially if you've got a lot of numbers. 15, so you don't make any mistake or miss any numbers. Then you've got 16 and 17. Right, all good. We're going to cross one out from each end. And we are left with 15 and 15. The number in between the two of them would be the same. So in this case, the median is equal to 15 as well. That's our median. The mode is the most frequent answer. Now, with this one, there are two because 14 and 15 repeat the most. So there will be two of them. And then the range would be the biggest, subtract the smallest. So it's going to be 17 minus 14, which is equal to 3. So the range is equal to 3. Right? Hope that makes sense. Let's look at another question, slightly a harder question. The mean of 5 numbers is 8. 4 of the numbers are 6, 9, 12, and 5. Find the missing number. Right, okay, so we're going to think of it like this. If we say 6 plus 9 plus 12 plus 5 plus the missing number, which I'm going to call x, divided by 5, because there are a total of 5 numbers. So remember, the mean is where you add everything together and divide by how many numbers you've got. So when we add everything together, including the x, which is the number we're trying to find, and divided by the total, which is 5, we get a mean number of 8. So then we work backwards to solve for x. If we multiply, so if we do the inverse of this, that means we're going to multiply both sides by 5, and we're left with 6 plus 9 plus 12 plus 5 plus x is going to equal 40. So when we add all the 5 numbers together, it should give us the number 40. So in that case, we're going to add 6 to 9 to 12 to 5 to simplify, which gives us 32. 32 plus x gives us 40. So what number, we think of it like this, what number plus 32 gives us 40, and x is 8, because that number will be 8. Right? And you can quickly double check that. If you add everything up together, do you get 40? If you do, then you've got the right answer. And in this case, we definitely do. Right? Hope that makes sense. Right, let's have a quick look at some common mistakes to avoid with averages. So the first one would be forgetting to arrange the numbers, to put the numbers in order when you're looking for the median. That's one thing that is definitely going to give you the wrong answer, so never forget that. The other one would be choosing the wrong number as the mode, so not kind of paying attention to the numbers and recognizing which one is the one that repeats the most. It's if you have one that repeats 3 times and you have one that repeats twice, it's obviously going to be the number that repeats 3 times. If you have 2 numbers that repeat the same number of times, both of them are going to be your modes, just like the example we did during this lesson, right? So be careful with that, make sure you choose the right number. And then when it comes to range, not subtracting properly, so again, pay attention to your subtracting method. If you've got bigger numbers, use the column method. And then forgetting to divide your mean. So if the mean, if you add everything together, you just got to remember the last step is you're going to divide it by how many numbers you've got, and then that'll be your mean there. And always look at your data. If you've got numbers in their tens and then you get a mean of 2, then you know you've made a mistake, because the mean should be somewhere along, similar to the data that you've got, right? Although you can have an outlier, but you're not going to get the outlier as your mean, right? So be careful with that. And then also the other common mistake that I see is not knowing which is which. So not knowing which is the median, which is the mean, which is the mode, and getting these mixed up. So make sure you watch through the video, look at the definitions, and understand what each of them are, so you don't make a mistake. So if they ask you for the mean, you don't give the median, and vice versa, right? Well done, great work today. Now you know how to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Keep practicing, and you'll master these in no time. These are easy questions to grab the marks on, and easy questions to master, so make sure you watch carefully through the video and practice some questions. If you found this video to be helpful, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more GCSE content.